everyone. So welcome all to another session of biology. Today we are going to be learning reproduction in animals. Before that, let me first introduce you to Swiflearn. Swiflearn is 100% live and interactive classes. We take in we give personalized attention for a batch of maximum of 6 students in it. We have a dedicated academic mentor team to track and work on students' progress. We also cover syllabus as per the school exam schedule and also handle custom requests as well. So some of our key features include detailed progress reports. We have Swiflearn academic test series, which are SATs. We also take unlimited practice test and subjective test for school exams so that the student is ready to give exams in the school. Yeah, so these were some of our key features. Now before we go ahead, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and also click the bell icon to never miss any update of any YouTube live sessions that are happening. Yeah, so with this, let us start off with today's class. Today we are going to be learning reproduction in animals. Okay, so yeah, so these are the objectives of today's class. We'll be learning reproduction in animals. We'll be learning the modes of reproduction, and also we'll be learning sexual reproduction. Yeah, so now we have already learned and read about reproduction in animals, right? So in plants. So in plants, you have sexual as well as asexual reproduction also. Under sexual reproduction, we learned about flowering plants, right? We learned about the hibiscus plant and all. And coming to asexual reproduction, also we have learned in plants, right? And lower organisms like budding, we learned about vegetative propagation, we learned about fragmentation, regeneration, and the different asexual procedures we have learned. So today we will be focusing only on reproduction in animals and mainly sexual reproduction. Okay. So now reproduction. Now, what is reproduction? Reproduction is a biological process by which new individual or of an organism is produced by their parents. Yes or no? Right? So reproduction is a biological process, right? By which an individual organism is produced, right? A new species or a new individual organism is produced by whom? By their parents. This is the definition of reproduction. Okay, now reproduction is very necessary for survival also. Now see, we also know that there are different life processes which are very necessary for our survival, right? There are many life processes, like you have respiration, you have digestion, you have excretion. All these are different processes that are very essential for our survival. Similarly, reproduction is very essential for the continuation of species. Now, if reproduction doesn't happen, one fine day, all the humans decide not to, reproduce further. What happens? That will be the end of our species. Right now, one fine day, if all the lions wake up and say that they are not going to reproduce further, what will happen? That is the end of the species of lions, right? There'll be no more lions in the world. So that is why we say that reproduction is very essential for the continuation of a species, right? Now, like plants, animals also reproduce by two ways. You have sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction as well. Today, we will be concentrating on sexual reproduction in animals and in humans, okay? So reproduction, what do you mean by sexual reproduction? See, what is the basic difference between a sexual reproduction and an asexual reproduction? Now, when you talk about sexual reproduction, it means that there is a male gamete, there is a female gamete, which fuses together, that is fertilization takes place between the male and female gamete. So always in sexual reproduction, there is a fusion of male and female gametes. Getting it? So sexual reproduction always needs two partners, one male part, two partners of opposite sex. Okay, that is a male and a female. Fusion of a male and a female gamete comes under sexual reproduction. Now, what is asexual reproduction? Under asexual reproduction, only one parent is required. Why? Because there is no fusion of gametes in asexual reproduction. So there is only one parent which is required. Okay, understood the basic difference between sexual and asexual reproduction? Under sexual reproduction, you need both the parent of opposite sex. That is, there should be a male, there should be a female that produces gametes, male and female gametes respectively, and fusion of these gametes is called as sexual reproduction. Now, asexual reproduction is when only one parent is needed. Okay, moving further. Now, coming to human reproductive organs. So, obviously, male and female have different reproductive organs, right? In humans, male has a different kind of reproductive organ and female has different reproductive organs. So, we will be learning about the diagram and how to label this. Even it is a very repeatedly asked question in your exam as well. Okay, now coming to first, we will learn the male reproductive organ. Okay, so now male reproductive organ basically has three parts. Okay, first you have a pair of testes. Okay, you can see in the diagram, you have a pair of testes. Okay, then you have sperm ducts. So this tube that you can see here is a sperm duct. Okay, and then you have the penis, which is this part. Okay, so basically a human male reproductive organ has basic three parts, which is a pair of testes, two sperm ducts. You can see here, right? There is two testes, two sperm duct, and one penis. Okay, moving ahead. Now, what are the functions of these different parts? Let us look into it. Okay, so first you have the testes. Singular is testis. Okay, testes is plural and singular is testis. Okay, so now testis, what is the function of a testis? So testis produces the male gamete, which is called as sperms. Okay, so what is a human male gamete? A reproductive gamete, it is called as sperms. Okay, now sperms have only haploid, it's a haploid cell. That is, now see, the entire human body has 46 chromosome, right? Where like I have 46 chromosome, you also have 46 chromosome. Every humans that you see around you are having 46 chromosome in them. Okay, now sperm, if sperm has, or if in case, imagine if sperm is having 46 chromosome, it will fuse with the female gamete, which is also having a 46 chromosome. Then the chromosome number exceeds, right? This should be maintained. 46 chromosome should be maintained. Okay, years ago also humans had 46 chromosome. Now also humans will have, and further on in future also 46 chromosome. Now, if this 46 number changes, that means you become a different species. You are not a human, you are a different species. Now, there are disorders also, certain disorders when you lose one chromosome or when you gain one chromosome. So, there are certain disorders like that. So, apart from these disorders, now, if the chromosome number is not constant, okay, if it is not 46, then you are not a human species. Okay, all the human Homo sapiens in general has 46 chromosomes. Okay, so the sperms will always have only 23 chromosomes. Now the female gamete is called as ova. Okay, ova or ovum, anyone. Okay, you can say. So the male reproductive gamete is sperm and the female reproductive gamete is ova. Okay, now I said, I have already told you that in sexual reproduction, what happens? There is a fusion of the male and the female gamete. Yes or no? So the male gamete should have 23 chromosomes. the female gamete should also have 23 chromosome, and they both fuse to give you a zygote having, or zygote will then develop into the baby, the embryo, then the baby, okay, which will have 46 chromosome. Clear? So sperm has 23 chromosome, and it is the testis that produces the sperms. Okay, so the testis, you can see this part is called as the testis, and this testis will produce sperms. Okay, now sperms are produced in large numbers. Okay, because the sperms have to really swim through the vaginal tract and reach the fallopian tube where the ova is present for fertilization. Okay, so it has to swim through. So there are chances that some might reach, some might not reach. Okay, so huge lot of sperms need to be produced so that there is a chance that at least one sperm will meet with the ova. Clear? Moving ahead, now sperm, let us learn more about sperm. Now each sperm is a single cell having 23 chromosomes only, okay? And they have all the cell components, okay? Like they have the cytoplasm, nucleus, all this is present, and it is very small in size. Very small that you cannot see with your naked eyes. Okay, you need a microscope to see one single sperm. Moving ahead, this is how a sperm looks like. Now, the anatomy of sperm is also generally asked in exams. Okay, in CBSE exams, especially, it is often asked. So you can learn the diagram. So you have three parts. Okay, basically, you have the head. Okay, you have the neck, which is the middle piece, and then you have a tail. Okay, so so you have the head. Inside the head, you have a nucleus, okay, where you have all the DNA and the chromosome material saved inside, kept safe inside the nucleus. Then you have the neck, which is called as the middle piece, and it has mitochondria. Now, what is the function of mitochondria? It gives you energy. Okay, mitochondria produces, they are called as the energy currency of a cell. Why? Because they produces energy or ATP. ATP matlab energy. Okay, so these sperm has a lot of mitochondria. Why? Because they need energy to swim, right? They need energy to swim through the vaginal tract and reach the fallopian tube of the female. So that is why they need energy. And then you have a long tail that you can see here. What will be the use of the tail? To swim. Okay, to swim through, you have the tail. So this is how a sperm will look if you look under a microscope. Clear? Also, before we go ahead, if you have any doubt regarding the subject that I am teaching you today, you can ask in the comment section. I will definitely answer all the questions that are asked in the comment section. Okay? Yeah. So now going ahead, now coming to the female reproductive organ. Now female reproductive organ basically, again, three parts. You have ovaries. Here you can see, right? You have two ovaries. Okay, that is one pair of ovaries are present in the female. You have here one ovary, and you can see here also there is an ovary. Okay, now the next part is the oviduct or the fallopian tube. So it has two names. Okay, like you might have a real name that people call you outside, and then you have your parents who will call you pet names, right? Like Chintu, Mantu, Motu, and all that. Similarly, our oviduct has two names. Okay, it has oviduct and it is also called as fallopian tube. Now it is upon you. It is your wish. You can either call it oviduct or you can call it fallopian tube. Now, in exam, if they are asking you oviduct, don't get confused. Oviduct, fallopian tube, same thing. Okay, so you have the ovary here, and then you have the fallopian tube or the oviduct, which is this tube. Okay, and then here you have the uterus. Okay, so these are the three major parts. Apart from that, you have cervix, and then it opens out through the vagina. Okay, now ovaries produces the egg. So there are millions of egg present inside the ovary. Now when a girl child is born, she has eggs inside her ovaries. Okay, when she's born itself, she has eggs. But these eggs are not mature. Okay, so there are millions of eggs inside the ovaries by the birth of a girl child only, but these eggs are not mature. It is only during the puberty that eggs get matured. Every month, one egg gets matured. Okay, if in case 1 month it is this ovary, then next month this ovary gets one egg from this ovary will get matured like that. Okay, so what happens after the maturation of the egg? The egg will, after it gets matured, that one single egg will come out through this oviduct, and it will be present in the oviduct waiting for the sperm. Now if sperm comes and meet in the oviduct, then fertilization takes place, or else no fertilization takes place. Is this clear? Yeah, if you have any doubt, you can ask me through the comment section. Okay, so now ovary, as I said, it produces the female gamete, which is called as ova, or the egg, or ovum, however you like, you can call it. Now a single matured egg is released into the oviduct by one of the ovaries every month. One time it's the right ovary, next time it's the left ovary. It gets, one egg gets matured every month, and it comes out through the oviduct and it stays in the oviduct. Okay, now how does the ova look? We saw how the male gamete looked, right? We saw how the sperm looked like microscopically. Now we will see how the ova or the egg looks like microscopically. So if you put a ova under a microscope, this is how it will look. Okay, it is a single cell. Again, it has only 23 chromosomes in it. Okay, and uterus is the part where the development of baby takes place. That means in case fertilization happens, in case fertilization of the sperm and the ova happens in the fallopian tube, in that case, this fertilization will result in formation of a zygote. And then, see, you can see here the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form a single nuclei. Okay, that is the zygote. Okay, then this zygote will then go to the uterus and get embedded. Basically, this zygote first develops. Okay, so first you have two cells forming one cell, then you have, they will grow into or develop into 4 cells, 8 cells, like that. They'll grow, and then the entire child is grown inside the uterus. Okay, so zygote is the beginning of a new individual. So once a zygote, see, every one of us were zygote at one point of time, right? You and I, we both were also zygote, where in the oviduct of our mother. Okay, so in the oviduct of our mother, we first were zygote, that is one cell. And it is from that one cell that now we have grown so big. Okay, so from one cell, that is zygote, they divide to give you another cell, like 8 cells, which is embryo. And then this embryo goes and get embedded means like stuck onto, okay, embedded into the uterus wall. And it is in the uterus that the child grows, right? You all know how many months does it take? It takes to about 9 to 10 months, right? It takes to about 9 to 10 months for the child to properly develop inside the uterus of the mother. And then once the child is fully developed, the signal goes and the child uterine wall starts contracting very heavily, and then the child comes out through the vagina. Clear? So here you can see the egg, the sperm, they form the zygote. Now you might ask me, what is this XX and XY? So these are chromosomes. Specifically, these are sex chromosomes. Okay. Now a female or an egg will always have two X chromosome. Okay. Female means all the female. Now, if you are a girl, you have XX chromosome. That is 2X chromosome. Like I have X 2X chromosomes. Okay. Now, sperm or males will have one X and one Y chromosome. Okay. Now, this is how the sex is determined of a child. Now, in case, see, when the eggs 1X meets with the sperms 1X, both of them meet to give you what? XX. So the child is a girl child. Now, if the eggs X chromosome meets with the sperm's Y chromosome, then the child is a boy child. This is how sex determination happens. Okay. Now, have you ever heard of the term test tube babies? I'm sure you must have heard of the terms test tube babies in your life, right? So, they are not different from a normal baby. In fact, test tube baby is a little, a very, it does not mean that the entire child is growing inside a test tube, or the entire baby is getting developed inside a test tube. No, this is not the meaning of test tube baby. Okay. Now, why do some people go for test tube babies are? Now, in some cases, sometimes the male might not be very, fertile. There might be some certain issues, fertility issues with the male, or sometimes it can happen with the female also. The female might have certain infertile, like basically they are infertile. That means they are not able to give out ova or sperms respectively. Okay. So in such cases, okay, then the environment inside the mother is not suitable for growing a child. In such cases, what happens is they take out the ova from the woman. Okay. And then they take out the sperm from the father. Okay. And they put both of them in a test tube. Okay. And then fertilization happens inside a test tube. Okay. That is, inside the test tube the zygote will be formed, and once the zygote starts developing, then it is taken and it is kept inside the mother's uterus. Okay, the entire child will not grow in the test tube. Once the zygote is little bit developed, they will take it and they'll keep it, or they'll embed it in the mother's uterine wall, and that is where the child will grow. Okay. Now, in some women, as I said earlier, the oviducts may be blocked, and therefore they cannot, have children. Or sometimes, because the oviduct is blocked, the sperm cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, the doctors would prefer that you do IVF, or in vitro fertilization. That is test tube babies. Go for the option of test tube babies, wherein the doctor will collect the egg from the mother, the sperm from the father. Okay, they'll put it in a test tube, keep it for few hours, and then they will take it and they will embed it in the mother's uterine wall. Okay. Now, in case if the mother is not able to, develop the child inside the uterus, in such case you can go for surrogacy also. Surrogacy, that means instead of placing it to the mother, because the mother is not hostile enough to, grow the child inside her uterus, they can put it into another surrogate woman. Okay, so if fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week, and then it is placed back into the mother's uterus. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, so we just spoke about IVF, that is in vitro fertilization, or test tube babies, wherein these are, another option. If the mother or father is infertile, then you can go for test tube babies. That is, the fresh eggs from the mother are taken out, and the sperms are also taken out from the father, and both of them are kept into a test tube for about a week, wherein a zygote is developed, and then this zygote is taken and kept into the mother's uterine wall, and then in the mother's uterus the child develops. Clear? Yeah. So the babies that are born through this procedure, or this technique, is called as test tube babies. Okay, the term test tube babies, as I said earlier, is a little misleading. Why? Because a baby cannot grow inside a test tube. Okay, this does not mean, now if you see someone who's a test tube baby, that does not mean that the entire baby was grown inside the test tube. No, only for a week it was inside a test tube. Okay. Now, in some animals, naturally the fertilization occurs outside the human body. Right. So, like how we were saying, now in humans, we have fertilization inside our body, but certain animals have fertilization outside. Now, if the fertilization is taking place inside your body, it is called as internal fertilization. Okay, example, humans, dog, cat, all these are examples of internal fertilization. That means fertilization is taking place inside the female body. Okay, so what is internal fertilization? Internal fertilization means a fertilization taking place inside where? Inside the female body. Clear? Now, moving on to external fertilization. Now, if the fertilization is taking place outside the female body, then you call it as an external fertilization. Okay. So, where does it take place? If it is not taking place inside the female body, then where? Outside where? In water. Okay, examples are fish, frog, starfish. All these have external fertilization. That is, the sperm and the egg are released by the male and female respectively, and then they come into the water, and in the water they get fertilized. Okay. Now, let's look into deep into how fertilization happens in frogs. Okay, so it happens basically in rainy season or spring season. Okay, during the rainy season, these frogs move towards the pond. Right, you must have all noticed they move towards the pond or lake, and then the female lays hundreds of eggs. Why hundreds of eggs? Hundreds of eggs doesn't mean that hundreds of frogs, one female is giving birth to 100 frogs. No, because the chances are very less. The sperm can meet, the sperm cannot meet, sometimes because of water current, or all these another predator, all these reasons the eggs can be eaten by another animal and all. So chances are very less. So that is why, to be on the safer side, the female will lay hundreds of eggs so that at least few of them will get fertilized. Okay, yeah, so this is how it looks. You have the frog that comes to a lake or a pond during the rainy or spring season, and then you have her eggs. See, this is how a frog's egg look like. This is present in the water, so there's about 100 of eggs. Okay, and then frog's egg is not covered by any shell. Okay, now what happens? The male will directly come, the male frog, okay, will directly come and lay the sperms over these eggs. Okay, and then the sperms will swim in water randomly with the help of their tail. Okay, sperms will have tail, so along with that tail they will swim in the water, they'll reach the egg, they'll come in contact with the egg, and fertilization. What is fertilization? Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gametes. Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gametes. Where does this happen? In frogs, it happens outside, that is in water. Okay, so the female comes and lays eggs in the water, the sperm will come, the male frog will come and lay the sperms, and then both of them will meet and fertilize to give you small cutie tadpoles. Okay, now time for asking some questions. So there is a very interesting word puzzle that we have designed for you, so try doing it. Okay, take your time and try doing it. Yeah, we are yes, see, no, the question, so I got a comment of a question that do frogs have cell wall? Now cell wall is different. Okay, only plants have cell wall, no animals have cell wall, whether it is a frog, a human, a dog, cat, nobody, no animal species have cell wall. Cell wall is only present for plants. Okay. And now the fusion of male and female. Yes. Oh, oh, you're answering that. Very good. The testes produce the male gametes called sperms. Very good. Try answering the second one. Very good. Everyone, those who know the answer can put it down in the comment section. Answer of these word puzzle. Male reproductive organ is dash. What is a male reproductive organ called as? Try doing the next one. Dash produces the female gametes called as ova. Try solving it. I'll wait for a minute and then we shall look into the answers. Yeah, I'm giving you time to solve it. Okay, now let's look into the answers. So the first one you said correct, that is sperms. The male reproductive organ is penis. The ovary produces female gametes called ova, right? Now, fusion of male and female gametes result in the formation of zygote. Uterus is a part where the baby develops, and the babies that are born with the technique of IVF is called as test tube babies. Very good, very good. Good. Okay, moving ahead, we will see certain questions now. What is a zygote? Answer them in the comment section. What is a zygote? Zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gamete in sexual reproduction. Okay, that is specifically the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuses to form a single nuclei, which is called as zygote. Okay, next question. What are the different parts of a female reproductive organ? So basically, there are three major parts, which all you have a pair of ovaries, very good. Then you have the oviduct of fallopian tube, and then you have the uterus, right? And then uterus opens to the cervix, which then opens to the vagina, right? Also do learn to draw it. Okay, for your exam it can be asked to draw the female and the male reproductive organ, so make sure that you learn to draw and label the male and female reproductive organ, okay, in humans. Next question. What is external fertilization? It occurs in which type of animals? Well, try answering them. Anybody who knows can send it in the comment section. Yeah, so external fertilization means fertilization happening outside the female body. Outside where? In water. So mostly aquatic animals do external fertilization because they have easy access to water, right? So you have fishes, frogs, starfish, and all. Okay, very good. Next question. Test tube babies are a result of external fertilization. This statement is true or false? Well, this statement is true because fertilization is happening outside the female body, that is in a test tube. Okay, so the formation of zygote or fertilization, that is fusion of the male gamete sperm and the female gamete ova, fusion of the sperm and ova is happening outside the female body, that is in the test tube. Okay, so it can be said as an external fertilization, but it is not completely true because the sperm and ova was produced by the body, and then after the zygote, that after 1 week of development, the zygote goes back into the female uterus. It is kept back into the female uterus for further development into a baby. So it's partly true. Okay. Okay, now next question. Identify the type of activity taking place below. So what is this happening here? This is respiration. What is this happening here? This is digestion. And what is this happening here? This process is fertilization. That is, you have sperms, right? Millions of sperms coming to fuse with one ova here. So it is fertilization. Very good. Breathing in and out. Very good. Okay, moving on. What did we learn today? We will do a quick revision on what we learned today. We learned about reproduction in animals. We learned about modes of reproduction, that is sexual reproduction. We learned about the male and female reproductive organs and how fertilization takes place, right? We learned about the types of fertilization, which is external fertilization and internal fertilization with examples. We also learned about IVF technique, which is test tube babies. Now, if you have any doubt, please do send me in the comment section. Now it is time to clear doubts. So ask me your doubts in the comment section and I'll clear them if you have any. If you don't have any doubts, just give me a thumbs up and then we can end the session. Okay, so I think there is no doubt. I'll still wait for a minute. Ask me if you have any doubt. Also, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And also click the bell icon to never miss any update of any live classes. So varieties of various live classes are taking place, whether it's maths, science, and all these subjects are taking place, classes are taking place. And also you can avail free trial classes. Just you can just go to our website, which is swiflearn.com. You can see our website down, it is kept down, and also the contact numbers are also down in the screen. You can see that you can get in touch with us to avail free trial classes, and if you like them you can also join for courses, right? We basically in Swiflearn we teach students, in our batches we teach students what to learn and how to learn various topics. Okay, and also we teach certain memory techniques that you can keep in mind, which will help you improve your memory. So basically we believe that rather than teaching a student what to study, we teach a student how to study, so that even though you know you can there is a even though if we help you to self learn basically. Okay, so you can avail free trial classes. Also you can just log into our website and avail free trial classes. If you need any support for any topic, any particular topic in your school syllabus that you're finding very difficult, you can just get back to us and we will definitely help you with it. Okay, so I hope there is no more doubts. So with this, we will end today's live session. I will meet you again in the next live session with a brand new topic. Okay, so with this, bye everyone and study well.